Now, with 3 weeks to go until the US presidential election, Kamala Harris and Donald Trump have held rival campaign events in the battleground state of Pennsylvania. Ms. Harris announced a plan to give black men more economic opportunities and described some of her opponents' behaviour as increasingly unhinged.
I believe so strongly that a second Trump term would be a huge risk for America and dangerous. Donald Trump is increasingly unstable and unhinged.
My all-time favorite chart. And let's listen to Pavarotti sing Ave Maria. Can you hear that? They gave me the Ave Maria with no voice.
Donald Trump spoke at a town hall event in Oaks where he promised to increase oil drilling to drive down energy costs. Now, his remarks were twice interrupted by medical emergencies in the crowd. He blamed a lack of air conditioning and called for music to be played.
Some people have been waiting here for 2 days for this, so you know it's a little bit tough. It's a little bit tough, but they're going to try and get those doors open.
Yes.
And I don't know whose building this is, but if they had air conditioning, do you see any air conditioning?
They probably can't afford it, sir, in this economy.
That's right. They don't want to give us air conditioning. It's too expensive. It costs too much. Anyway, but they're both okay.
Yes.
They're both in good shape.
And that's wonderful.
Would anybody else like to faint?
Political writer at the Los Angeles Times, Seema Mehta, told us both candidates are sharpening their attacks in those key states.
Even though it's, obviously this is a national election, but ultimately it's going to come down to a handful of battleground states. And Pennsylvania is among those handful that has the most electoral college votes among the states that will ultimately decide this election. And I think the messaging was very interesting in terms of Kamala Harris. She sort of stepped up. She's always for months, she has been arguing that former President Trump is unfit. However, she is stepping up and increasingly and more aggressively arguing that not only is he unfit, but that he's dangerous for the nation if he's reelected. She did that at the rally today. She also unveiled a new ad that features some of his former national security aides basically saying that. So that it is a notable and more aggressive take from the vice president. In terms of former President Trump, he is. He's going all around the country holding tons of rallies, and he's sticking to this message that, Kamala Harris will destroy this nation if she's elected. So we're 3 weeks out. It's a really tight election. Clearly, her campaign is trying to shake stuff up because, this has been a crazy couple months and an unprecedented couple months in terms of American politics. I appreciate the fact that in the UK, you have elections that only last a short amount of time. Our elections last forever. They go on for years and years. So with President Joe Biden, announcing this summer that he would not seek re-election, and then Kamala Harris quickly coalescing support to become the Democratic nominee, she had a really sort of burst of momentum, through her coalescing that support through the DNC, the Democratic National Convention, where she officially became the nominee through the debate. And so I think Democrats were pretty optimistic at that point, but that honeymoon period is clearly over and it's ended. So now, you have this race that has just settled into it's dead even, not only nationally, but in these battleground states. So where it's, even if you can pick off a voter here and there, it makes a difference. So in addition to sort of becoming more aggressive in her messaging about the former president, you see her doing media interviews all over the place, traditional stuff like 60 Minutes, but also non-traditional podcasts and radio shows. She's clearly trying to do something to shake the race up.
Seema Mehta of the LA Times.